What if I told you the fire you've been running from is the very light meant to guide you? You've heard of Rumi's love, but do you know the man who lit the flame? Shams al-Din Muhammad, Binte Ali, Binte Maqalat Tabrizi. Truth isn't polite, and neither was Shams. He came to wake the sleeping hearts. His teachings may not comfort you, but they will awaken you and your soul. Eshq, the eternal divine love, made Shams so much one with God that it would be right to say he knew God through the most direct knowledge coming from God Almighty. He says, "This word Eshq of mine is so dense and complicated. Even if I say it 100 times, something different will be understood each time. However, the real meaning still stays untouched, and no one understands it." The Vail of Delusion. He is in love with God, and God is absolute being. The God you believe in and worship is one that is created with your delusions and desires. Unless you attain his being, devoid of all restrictions, and exist in his existence. Those who attain the real being deny the God created by delusions. To them it is kufr, blasphemy. Those who are at this state veil the real God to protect the outer part of religion and become kafir, the unbeliever. Knowing this, Shams says, "These men have a point. They have no familiarity with my words. All my words become manifest in exaltation, and all seem to be assertion, whereas words from the Quran and the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, become manifest completely through niyaz, supplication, and thus the meaning is all evident." He claims he is in love. Be fair now. If you were accepted by God and were really in love, then would these have been the words of someone accepted? Fire would have been blazing from your head to your toes. Nothing will burn Satan except fire from a God-man's love. All one's penances and asceticism will never tie Satan down. Instead, he will become stronger, because he is created by the fire of carnal desire. That fire can be extinguished only by the light. Only the perfect adept can extinguish the fire. The final surrender. Consider the meaning of this hadith. God created souls before bodies. Now if you assume that they were created 100,000 years before bodies, they still are a veil, something incidental or created. Clearly one must perform ablution to remove all defilements, so that one can begin to serve God and to pray. I do not know how the created and defiled can comprehend the pure and uncreated word kalam. Nay, one must live in the state of surrender, in an absolutely concealed way, so that one's mind is effaced and annihilated, and nothing is left. Then when one is annihilated in God, it is as though one's soul is saying, "I am coming, saluting you. I find you alone." Everyone is busy with something and happy and pleased with it. Some are at the level of soul and are involved with that. Others are involved with their wisdom, some with their mind. I find you with no one. All your companions have gone towards their own preferences and have left you alone. I am a friend of the friendless. This description has revealed everything from first to last, yet it remains hidden. Many seekers reach the level of the soul and experience joy within. They remain there and call it God's level, but they are speaking instead of the soul level. A seeker cannot leave that level unless God's grace or divine pull can reach him, or a man takes him in his bosom and pulls him from the level of the soul up to the level of God and says to him, "Come, be a follower, for here you will find another gentle tale. Why have you remained there?" The soul had not yet shown its beauty to Mansur completely. Otherwise, he would not have said, "I am God." How can I ever exist where God is? What is this I? What is this talk? Even if he had been drowned in the level of soul, these words would not have found a place within him. Where would the letters of the alphabet have been contained? One must dwell in one's heart, not in one's nature or character. Seek the heart, but then, what is the heart? Even the heart is a veil. A perfect adept dwells in God, but they call him a heart dweller. Is it not true that when the light of God's glory reaches the heart, it feels intoxicated, and when that light is absent, the opposite is felt? This state will be repeated until the heart melts and is lost, so that the heart breaks and is no more. Then only God will remain. The Alef of meaning. An Alef came out from the inner world of meaning, and whoever understood this Alef understood all, whereas whoever did not understood nothing. Seekers all tremble like willow trees, wanting to understand this Alef, but they have elaborated too much over its veils, saying, "There are 700 veils of darkness and 700 of light." They have not led seekers towards the truth. Rather, they have robbed them of it. They have caused disappointment for those who wondered how they could overcome all those veils. God commanded David to hang a chain from the sky to determine guilt or innocence. When touched by the guilty, it withdrew back into the sky. All veils are nothing but one veil. There is none but that one, and that veil is this existence. Those whose ego is not fully annihilated in God teach that God is unreachable. An Alef was inscribed upon the tablet, soul. Sometimes we say it is written upon a tablet, sometimes upon the earth, and sometimes upon the heart. The up and down stroke is filled with its light and brilliancy. Where is the speaker? Where is the eye itself? Where is sight so that you can see? All is God. Up, down, eye and ear, all is God. The arrow of truth, Haq. What is the arrow? These words are the arrow. What is the quiver holding the arrow? The world of Haq, truth, is the quiver. And what is the bow? It is the power of Haq. There is no end to this arrow. Say that, if the sea becomes ink for a pen, it will run out before the Lord's words are finished. Lucky is he who is shot by this arrow. It will take him to the world of truth. There are arrows in the quiver that I cannot shoot, because no one can understand the meaning. Even those that are shot will return again to the same quiver. These words show his understanding of Eshq. It follows that his side looking at Haq, God, is infinite love, and his side facing people with Haq is mercy. Hadrat Ali says that until the Maqamul Jam, station of unifying, one should not practice tafliq, distinguish, but after having reached this station, tafriq is a must. Therefore, what Shams has said shows us that he is in a state after the Maqamul Jam. The mercy he offers to people is revealed in his words as follows: I sometimes do not greet anyone, but they should know that I always think in favor of them, because the devil has never entered my illuminated heart. There have always been angels. In some hearts there is always the devil, whereas in some others there is both the devil and angel. In mine there is always angel. Therefore, when I mention people's names, non-believers become believers, and believers become wali, friends of Allah. the merging of the lover and the beloved. 100 times he has begged me to give him a cloak, and Maulana Rumi has told him 100 times that my way is not to give a cloak, that my words and whatever you acquire from me is the cloak that I give. When the time comes, God realization, then I shall put your cloak upon my head, and you shall put mine upon yours. The illuminated heart. Such an understanding of divine love has strengthened Shams's faith in Tawheed, oneness, and Wahdat-e-Wujud, unity of existence. He transcended all religions and sects. He annihilated himself within the absolute being and became absolute. He was the soldier of illuminated heart, only which he turned towards. He says, everything is sacrificed for people, and people for themselves. Has God ever mentioned glorifying the skies and heavens? There is no use going to heavens or entering the 7 layers of the earth. One should become the beloved of the illuminated heart and its owner. This is the reason why all the prophets, saints, and the owners of the pleased, fulfilling soul worked and died for. They were all seeking this. The entire universe is in one person. Knowing yourself means knowing the whole universe. As one can see, the love of God turns into respect for humans. Shams says, everyone in this world turns their faces to the Kaaba, but when you remove the Kaaba, it is revealed that everyone prostrates to each other's illuminated hearts. The prostration of one person is to the illuminated heart of the other, and vice versa. Such lovers are not easily understood by people who see things with their intellect. Actually, such lovers are like the 7 sleepers of the cave Kahf, who are always in relation with Allah, unaware of people's critics, and indifferent to extreme happiness and sadness. Shams describes this state of his as follows: God has such servants that there is no one to take on their sorrow, and no one to withstand their joy either. Others cannot come to themselves if they ever drink wine from the same jug of such servants. Those who drink that wine become drunk and lose themselves, whereas the wise who drink it sit sober in the jar. No one can withstand my deeds. It is not religiously permissible for an imitator to say what I am saying. How right are those who said, this group should not be obeyed. The mirror of the heart. Might sees grace through its own eyes and can only see might. This slave of God tells a pagan, you belong to him, I belong to him, but you exist through his attribute of might, I through his grace. Grace comes before might. Overlook the fact that might exists and join grace. It has a better taste. This saying means that the prophet puts nothing inside his followers that is not already there. He tries to remove, with his enchanting words, the veil that prevents them from seeing the truth. The sum of the words of all prophets is this: provide yourself with a mirror to see your true self. A pure heart, the only mirror that reflects God. If you prostrate yourself 100 times in front of a mirror, it never moves from its place. If any ugliness has appeared in the mirror, know that it is your own. Do not despise the mirror. Hide the fault that you see on his face from him, because he is my friend. With the tongue of the heart, he says, surely this is not possible. Now, O friend, you say, place the mirror into my hand so that I may look at it. Yet I cannot find a pretext for this, nor can I deny your request. But I say in my own heart, let me find some pretext not to give you the mirror. Because if I say that there is something wrong with your face, perhaps you will not accept it. And if you say that the mirror is defective, this will be worse for you. Yet love does not allow me to find a pretext. Now I say, let me give you the mirror. But if you see some fault on its face, do not blame the mirror, but something reflected onto the mirror. Know that it is your own image. Find the fault in yourself. At least don't look into the mirror while you are near me. The only condition is that you do not find fault with the mirror. If you are unable to find the fault in yourself, at least find fault with me, as I am the owner of the mirror. Don't say the mirror is defective. The path of annihilation. The path runs in one of two ways, either through inner revelation, like that of saints, Awliya, and prophets, or by acquiring that knowledge through effort, endeavor, and purification of the mind. If not one of the two, what is left but hell? Believers are as if one. For this reason prophets say, O stranger, in form you are part of me. Why do you not know me? Come, you are a part. Do not be unaware of the whole. Come, get to know me. But the man answers, I would sooner kill myself. Neither do I want to know you, nor do I want to associate with you. In fact, the farther he advances in his apparent solitude, the more his thinking and imagination increases and stands right in front of him, blocking his progress. However, in the system of adherence or submission, the farther he advances, the more he experiences manifestation upon manifestation and truth upon truth. In the beginning, passion for God demands restlessness and traveling, although the soul has no particular place. Travel the inner path with a guide. If you miss the way by a few inches, then you will find yourself in the desert. It is just a few inches after Aksara that you will reach Konya. If you miss it, you will be in total wilderness. Look at the way and ask if this is the road. There are those who will mislead you, or there may be a thief. Try to discriminate and understand, because the road has many branches, one going this way, another that way. You are to keep to the right side. Once you reach Konya, then there is no longer any need for discrimination or thought. He is a fair king, and there, no one is cruel. No one. The fortress of oneness. One group speaks about mysticism eloquently, another poetically, and still another speaks in simple prose. Each is a part of the whole, and not the whole. The word of God, Esme Azam, is whole. Hang on to the whole, so that all the parts can belong to you and something extra besides. Do not grasp hold of a portion only, lest the whole be lost. If a tree begins to grow in someone's garden, he should care for the entire tree, so that all the branches will be his, as well as the trunk. If he cares for just one branch, the rest will be lost, and there is a danger that even that branch may break and be lost, and that his time and life would be wasted. It is said, one must repeat, there is no God but Allah. He is my fortress. Anyone who enters this fortress will be saved from punishment. He said, anyone who enters the fortress. He did not say, anyone who just utters the name of this fortress. To utter its name is quite easy, as when you say, I went into the fortress, or I went to Damascus. By mere language, you could go in a moment to the earth and sky, to the spiritual throne and empyrean. He who repeats with purity and sincerity, there is no God but Allah, will enter paradise. Now, when you sit down to repeat it, the brain dries out. He is one, but who are you? You are more than 6,000. You must become one. Otherwise, what do you gain from his oneness? You are like 100,000 particles, each particle taken by a desire, each particle taken by a thought. If you repeat that phrase with pure intention and sincere action, there will be no need for the promise of paradise, because it will be identical to paradise. Someone is cutting the land to build, and someone else has come saying, "Why do you ruin this nice land?" He does not distinguish building from ruining. If you do not ruin it, the land goes to ruin. Is it not true that building hides beneath ruination? When a fortress is governed by an unruly or undisciplined person, it is necessary to destroy it. That action earns one a robe of honor. However, to renovate that fortress is sinful and treacherous. Once the fortress is taken out of the unruly one's hands, the king has entered and the king's banner erected. Then to destroy it would be treachery, and to renovate it a duty, devotion, and service. Rumi said, "Unless belief changes to heathenism, and heathenism into belief, not one of God's devotees rightfully becomes a Muslim." The final call. We are still not fit to talk. I wish we were fit to listen. One must concentrate fully on what one says and what one hears. The heart is sealed shut, the ears are sealed shut, and the tongue is sealed shut. A bit of the radiance, inner light, reaches man, but if he becomes more thankful, it will increase. With the tongue of your condition, in gratitude you say, "Show me things as they are." Shams Tabrizi. One cannot give a discourse in front of a preacher any more than one can play music before a musician, unless one is a great master who is expressing a rare note. He is saying, "If you did not know that such rare notes existed, now you do. If there has been no expansion for you, there will be, since you are facing us. Many openings are on the way. All will soon be visible. If you have not had much success, you will, for all the veils you face are from your own side. Many expansions are on the way. All God's dealings with his devotees are in equal measure to the devotee's action. Yet many sweet and pleasurable experiences are to come.